No one on the Galactic Council spoke his name anymore. Not because it was forbidden, but because it hurt. Among the starbound civilizations, legends usually grew louder with time, polished by repetition, inflated by politics. But the story of the human who vanished after saving Queen Saren of the Letha Imperium did the opposite. It faded. It became something spoken only in private chambers, in quiet tones, as if saying it aloud might reopen a wound the Empire had never truly healed. Saren remembered everything. She remembered the day the sky over Letha Prime burned. 5 years ago, the capital world had been under siege by the Ka Dominion, a species that believed monarchs should be displayed in chains to prove supremacy. Their fleets had broken through orbital defenses with terrifying speed. The Royal Guard had fought bravely, and died just as bravely. And then the human had appeared. He had not been a general, nor a diplomat. He had been a contracted Terran security specialist assigned to an outer embassy rotation. His name was Elias Ward, a Death Worlder. When the Ka strike team breached the inner sanctum, Saren had been cornered, bleeding, her ceremonial armor shattered. Her guards lay dead around her. The Ka commander had raised his blade, already savoring the moment. Elias had stepped between them. He had taken wounds that should have killed any non-human outright: plasma burns, shattered bones, internal bleeding, and kept fighting. He had dragged Saren through collapsing corridors, carried her when her strength failed, and sealed the escape pod with his own hands while enemy fire tore through the hangar. The last thing Saren had seen was Elias smiling weakly at her through the pod's viewport. "Live," he had said. "That's enough for me." Then the pod launched. The hangar exploded. Elias Ward was declared dead. 5 years passed. Saren became one of the most powerful rulers in known space. She rebuilt the Letha Imperium's fleets, reformed its defenses, and personally oversaw the defeat of the Ka Dominion. Statues were raised to fallen heroes. Memorials were carved into crystal mountains. But none bore Elias's likeness. She had forbidden it. "He is not a memory," she had said. "He is a debt." In private, Saren never stopped searching. Human databases, fringe colonies, black market registries. Every trace ended the same way: Elias Ward, presumed dead, no confirmed remains. The galaxy moved on. Saren did not. The return happened on an ordinary diplomatic day. The council chamber hovered above Letha Prime, its transparent walls revealing the planet's aurora-lit atmosphere. Saren sat upon her throne, regal and composed, as ambassadors debated trade routes and border disputes. Then the chamber doors opened. Security tensed instantly. The figure who entered was human, tall, broad-shouldered, scarred. He wore no insignia, no rank, just a long, weathered coat and boots that had seen too many worlds. His dark hair was streaked with silver now, his face lined in ways time alone could not explain. Saren's breath caught. She stood. The chamber erupted in confusion as guards raised weapons, scanners flared, and aides shouted warnings. But Saren saw none of it. She was staring into eyes she had never forgotten. "Elias," she whispered. The human looked up. Their gazes locked across the chamber, and in that moment, 5 years collapsed into nothing. He bowed, not as a subject, but as an equal acknowledging another survivor. "Your Majesty," he said quietly. "You're alive. Good." The chamber fell silent. The reunion was not public. Saren dismissed the council, ignoring protests and protocol. She led Elias to a private observatory overlooking the capital spires. Only when the doors sealed did her composure finally crack. "You were dead," she said, her voice shaking. "I watched you die." "I know," Elias replied. I almost did. He told her the truth. The explosion had thrown him into vacuum. Human physiology, reinforced bones, redundant organs, sheer stubbornness, had kept him alive long enough for a scavenger ship to find him drifting unconscious. Recovery had taken years. Black sites, unregistered colonies, jobs that paid in food and anonymity. I didn't come back because I wanted glory, he said. I stayed away because your enemies would have used me. Against you. Saren closed the distance between them in a single stride. You had no right, she said fiercely, to decide alone. I had every obligation, Elias replied just as fiercely. You were rebuilding an empire. I was a liability. She stared at him, searching for the man she remembered, and finding him, scarred but unbroken. And now? She asked. Now I heard the Lithari were stable, he said. Strong. I thought maybe I could finally stop running. Her hands trembled as she reached out, stopping just short of touching him. 4 or 5 years, she said softly, I dreamed of this moment. And every dream ended with you vanishing again. I'm here, Elias said. I won't disappear. The galaxy noticed. News of the humans' return spread like wildfire. Analysts panicked. Rivals reassessed. Allies whispered. The idea that the Queen's legendary savior still lived and had returned to her side changed calculations overnight. Some feared him. Others underestimated him. Saren did neither. She appointed Elias as her personal advisor, not a title of power, but of proximity. He walked beside her in halls where only royalty tread. He spoke plainly when others flattered. He challenged her decisions when necessary. And slowly, something long buried healed. One evening, beneath the twin moons of Letha Prime, Saren finally spoke the truth she had carried for 5 years. When you vanished, she said, I realized something terrifying. I was not afraid of losing my throne. I was afraid of losing you. Elias was silent for a long moment. I was afraid too, he admitted, that if I stayed, I'd want something I couldn't have. She turned to face him, her bioluminescent markings glowing softly. And now? He met her gaze. Now I think the galaxy already took everything it could from us. I'm tired of letting fear decide. Saren stepped closer. So am I. The proper ending did not come with a coronation or a battle. It came quietly. Elias did not become a king. Saren did not abandon her throne. But the extraterrestrial queen, who had ruled through loss, war, and duty, allowed herself something new. Not possession. Not obligation. But choice. The human who had disappeared after saving her stood at her side once more, not as a ghost of the past, but as a living future. And for the first time in 5 years, Queen Saren slept without dreaming of fire. The galaxy would learn, in time, that some legends do not end when they vanish. Some return. And this one still had a story left to tell.